Welcome back. My name's Joanne, and today is the long-awaited eyeshadow palette collection video. So this is going to include obviously my eyeshadow palettes and also my single eyeshadows. So my potted eyeshadows, single eyeshadows and palettes, my stick eyeshadows, cream eyeshadows, liquid eyeshadows, all of that. So if you're interested in seeing my eyeshadow collection, I hope you keep watching. I'm so excited. I'm gonna first start with the eyeshadows that are in projects. So I have this Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette. This is the original one. This is the warm toned one. I absolutely love this. Such a good palette. I am working on this shade in my Panlos eyeshadows, and I have started setting my eyeshadow primer, and I've been using this shade, and I'm using this shade under my eyes just to brighten a little bit. And I'm using this one like as a transition shade. I love this palette, just great for every day. Great quality too. Next I have my Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes, another favorite palette. This has so many dips in here. Like this shade has a dip, this shade has a little bit of a dip, and obviously this shade right here is my favorite shade in the palette, and this is the one that's in my Panlos eyeshadows as well. All of these palettes first are going to be from Panlos eyeshadows because that is the only eyeshadow project pan I'm currently doing. I might add more, but for now that is the only project that I am doing. Next is the palette that is primarily on my eyes today. Blend Bunny Sugar and Grunge. I did go over my eye look in my recent project pan update, so I'm sorry if this is repetitive, but I did use detention in my crease, and I actually did bring it out onto my outer corner because initially I was just going to do like an all purple crease look with the teal shimmer like on the inner corner, but obviously that changed. And then I went in with Teen Spirit on the outer corner, and then I was like, why not just wing it out? So that's what I did. And then those are also the two shades that are on my lower lash line. I think I did forget to mention that in my project pan update that I just filmed. Yeah, so those two are on my lower lash line as well. As for the shimmers, I started with Butterfly, and I just put that like in the center, kind of at an angle to match that teal outer corner. And then on the inner lid area, I used the shade Jawbreaker. And then on my inner corner, I used something else that I'll mention when I get to it. But I did layer it with a highlighter palette as well. The last palette that I have in my Panlos eyeshadows is this customized neutral-ish palette, like spicy neutral palette. This looks different than the last time you guys saw it because I have depotted some shades from Natasha Denona Yucca and Retro into here as well, so it's a lot more full. But I love this color story. I did use this the other day. I used this on Saturday because I did go on a third date with someone, okay? Anyways. So I used this one, and I was like, I want to do something that's not just brown. So I incorporated like this deeper green, and I used this green as well, and I used this one on my inner corner and then this one on my lid, I'm pretty sure. Gorgeous, gorgeous look. Loved it, and he liked it too, so points and bonus points for him. Now to go through the palettes that are in my drawer right here. I do have two palettes coming to me. I'm so excited. I also have two singles coming to me. They're from Bella Beauté Bar. It's the new New Purr collab, the Coalescence palette. That is so pretty. The muted grungy tones. Say less. Say less. And then I also picked up Poison Garden. I've been wanting that since it released last year, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna pick it up at the same time. And then I got two of her singles as well, and I'm so excited for them. I'm so excited. Okay. I actually no, that's a lie. I did have a cup of coffee this morning, but that was this morning, and I'm still so energetic. I don't know why. Okay. I guess I'll start with the palettes that are like standing up. I have two mini Morphe palettes. These are both 6 pans. So I have the shade Outer Spice, which is the warmer one. This was the first one I picked up. Of course it was. I mean, you can't tell from my eye look today, but this is my type of, ow, neutral palette. I just pinched myself. And then this is the shade Rich Glitch. This one pulls very pink, but it's very pretty, very nice for a nice smoky look. I do really like these palettes. I'm very surprised because I did not like my Morphe palettes that I had prior. Yeah, I do really like those though. And they're less expensive. I mean, they're an affordable brand. I do like them. This is my last Makeup by Mario palette. This is the Master Mattes, the neutrals. This is the more cool tone neutral one. This pulls cool tone on me because I have a warm undertone, but I love this. This is a different formula than either of his other palettes. This is more of a creamy formula than the other two. I would say Ethereal Eyes is like the most dry formula, but then Master Mattes is also a little drier. I love all of them though. Such great palettes. Another brand that I'm no longer supporting. Why are brands like this? Like, anyways. Urban Decay Naked. I love this palette so much. So easy to work with. Love this more cool tone neutral. Color Story. So pretty. Love the shade Sidecar. I use Sin as an inner corner a lot. I love both of these mattes. Yeah. But again, another brand that I'm no longer supporting because of recent things that have happened. This palette, I have tried letting go of this, but I just can't. I can't. It's Melt Gemini. It is literally me in a palette. Warm browns, grungy greens. Has a black to deepen it up, you know. It's so good. Melt does not have my favorite formula ever, but it's still really nice. I love it. It's very pigmented, and this packaging is so pretty. I'm sorry if you can hear my mom cooking in the background. It's just how it is. I have 2 Gourmand Girls palettes. I did have 3, but I did declutter my 3rd one. I have Haunted, of course. I cannot get rid of Haunted. Are you kidding me? This grungy Color Story. These shimmers are so pretty. Like, they're stunning. Gorgeous, gorgeous shimmers. I love Gourmand Girls formula. They're so underrated. So underrated. And then I have Nightshade, which was my first one I ever bought from them. These are both in collaboration with Doodles by the Bunny. Look at this purple, yellow, Color Story, green. It's so pretty. So pretty. Again, I love Gourmand Girls formula. Very pigmented. Not like super pigmented, but they're very blendable. And the shimmers are really pretty as well. Next, I have my Too Faced Aptly in Love palette. I do have 2 shades scraped out because I did not like the formula of them. They were very hard pressed, and you just had to apply a lot. Like, you always had to build it up. But I do love the scent of this. It's like cinnamony apple type of scent. My next palette is my most expensive palette in my collection. Pat McGrath Labs Bronze Seduction. You can pry this from my cold dead hands, okay? I do have a cracked shade. It came cracked. Okay, this dark purple shade. I will say the mattes lean kind of dark. Like, there isn't a transition shade for me. That's fine. I don't love her matte formula anyways. The shimmers though. These 2 are my favorite. I love this one. It's like a rose gold, super sparkly shade. This is like a green to pink type of shade. This red is so pretty as well. I'm not a huge red eyeshadow person, but this one's really pretty. This one I haven't used all that much. It's like a gold greeny type of shade. These shimmers are really pretty just for every day. And then this is a really nice inner corner highlight shade. Will I purchase another Pat McGrath palette? Probably not. Would I repurchase this one? Again, probably not. I have so many pretty indie eyeshadows that I just don't see a need to purchase these palettes. They're so heavy though. Like, they can be a weapon. Not that I would use it as a weapon because that would break the eyeshadows and that would make me really sad, but they could be used as a weapon. I currently have 2 intact Belle Beauté Bar palettes. Again, I have 2 more coming and I'm so excited for them. The first one is actually what's part of my inner corner today, and that is the Recently De-Influenced palette. This is what it looks like. This is one that I was gonna declutter, but I kept thinking about it, and it's just Steph always raves about this palette, and I'm like, you know what? That is a gorgeous color story for me. And I did use the shade Feud and Paid Partnership in a look, and it's really pretty. But I did use the shade Digital Zombie in my inner corner, but it pulled a little too purple, so I used a blue highlighter on top of it. But this palette is so pretty. Bella Beauté Bar, my favorite. I think this is my favorite eyeshadow brand ever. Mattes, pigmented, super blendable. The shimmers, stunning. The shimmers are just, I have no words. Like, they're just so good. So good. They are a more expensive indie brand, but if you haven't tried them and are able to, I highly recommend. There are always discount codes out that you can use. I think they're mostly like 10% off. They're currently doing a sale, but it's gonna be over by the time you see this video. But yeah, or wait for Black Friday. Black Friday is coming up. My other intact Bella Beauté Bar palette is Basic Witch. This I think won my eyeshadow palette tournament last year. It's just so pretty. I love this color story. I love these purples, love this green. This like almost like macaroni type of orangey shade is so pretty. These pinks I actually really like. I used Glinda a month or two ago for a look. I don't remember how I used it, but it was really pretty. I do love these shimmers. These shimmers are more of like that smooth type of metallic. This one's a little chunkier, the shade Perfectly Wicked. I could go on for days about Bella Beauté Bar. They're just so good. And they are probably my top brand that I would love to work with one day. I just love them so much. I think them and Blend Bunny. Yeah. Next, I have two Nomad Cosmetics palettes. So I have Hudson Valley. This is such a fall palette. I mean, look at the cover, very fall, okay? Look at the inside, very fall. I love it so much. And this has shades like Cider House, Great Pumpkin Patch, Apple Picking, Apple Cider Donut. It's just full of fall things, and I love that. I need to use this more. I did use this, and I really liked the formula of this, but I just need to use it more. I need to use it this fall, maybe in conjunction with my other Nomad palette. That would be really fun. My other Nomad palette is the Ghost Town USA palette. Look at this packaging. It's what, a lenticular packaging? It's so cool. I love it so much. But this color story, oh, talk about muted grunge. So pretty. Recently, I did use these greens, like this quad right here. So pretty. Loved it so much. I will say these shimmers, they're more of like that creamy type shimmer, and they feel like they're starting to dry out. So I need to use these more. They're really pretty. I do really like this palette. Is this a palette that I would repurchase? I think so, actually. Not my favorite formula. It's a little bit drier, but I still love this palette so much. It's another palette that you could pry out of my cold dead hands. This next palette are all depotted colorful shades. So these square ones are all a mixture of Blend Bunny and Bella Beauté Bar shades. These bigger circular ones are from Bella Beauté Bar Best Mattes, which was in collaboration with Brittany Huffman and Ellie Star. I don't think they have that palette anymore. And I think also maybe Strange and Unusual. Oh no, this one's like cracking. How? This is magnetic. That's so sad. This green shade looks like it's not doing so hot. Okay, anyways. And then it's this green shade right here. So sad. These smaller ones are from Glaminatrix Rich Romantic. I have one palette from MAC. They do have a new like nude 6-pan I think coming out, but this is Unfiltered Nudes. And this is such a nice palette. I have to do my hair. I will say MAC does not have my favorite eyeshadow formula. They're more of a grippy type of formula, but they're still really nice. Okay. And I do really like this palette. I love the shade Wedge. Such a great transition shade. And then Uninterrupted, Classic, and then Satin Taupe up here. Love that as like a crease shade. Les Artistes is really pretty. This shade, what is that called? Except Cookies? No. Internet Star. The shade Internet Star is so, so pretty. So, yeah, even though this isn't my favorite formula, I still really enjoy the shades in this palette. My last Morphe palette is this one. This is in the shade Flickering Sands. Of course, I got the warm tone neutral one. Okay, I have a type. But I love that these are kind of like rosier, and then you have like the super warm shades if you want to go there. I find Morphe to be a really nice formula. They're buildable, but you can build it to a decent amount of pigment. And the shimmers aren't like anything super special, except for the ones that are in the 6-pan. Those are stunning. But yeah, these shimmers are just nice, like everyday shimmers. I do really like this one. This one's pretty sparkly. But yeah, I do really like these palettes. I wouldn't say I would go out and repurchase them. I have other palettes that I would rather get over these. But if you're interested in trying them out, I highly recommend. I do only have one Cosmic Beauty palette left. My friend took my other two, which is fine because I didn't want them anyways. And that's Muse. I love this Color Story so much. And now that I'm like getting back into my colorful era, gorgeous. I love these greens, love the pinks. Green and pink sounds so fun together. Yeah, I did use these two with the shade Ambient. I think I did that in a Get Ready With Me. No, the shade Antique. Ambient's up there. But yeah, I really like this palette. Not my favorite formula, but actually, yeah, I don't think they don't top Bella Beauté Bar for me. But they're still really nice. Very easy to blend. The shimmers are pretty. What else can I say about that? This is my last singles palette that I have, and this is from Divina. This is like their Hecate, yeah. Hecate, like magnetic palette that they had. This is from 2022. That's insane. But this is what this looks like. So these square ones up here, I have mostly Bella Beauté Bar, but then I think these three right here are all from Adept. These smaller ones are again from Glaminatrix. I think it's a mix of Sugar and Spice and Rich Romantic. And then this one I think is a Glaminatrix single that I got for free with my order. Let's see here. These 4 plus this one at the bottom here are from Bella Beauté Bar, Strange and Unusual. And then the rest of them are Divina from their Mystic Cove and Sea of Shadows collections. Those came out at the same time, and I bought full collections of both of them, and they're so pretty. The Mystic Cove ones are something special. They're so, so pretty, so special. Just gorgeous shadows. Highly recommend trying Divina as a single shadow brand. I do really want to try Cleona, but I have so many special eyeshadows that I need to start using some of them before I buy more. I have one last little stack of palettes. So I have this one from Electrum Cosmetics. This is their Celestial Witch palette. They don't have it anymore. It's a one-person brand, and she just comes out with different things every time she has a release. But these shimmers are so special. Again, another super special shimmer formula brand. And this packaging's so pretty as well. Okay, my foot is literally falling asleep. I have 4 more palettes, and they're actually from Odin's Eye. Okay, not my favorite brand, but I somehow just can't let go of these ones. This first one, okay, let me actually do this. So I have 2 from their Christmas collections. These are the original Christmas palettes. I have Merry Christmas. This was when they first released. And this is what this one looks like. It's very warm toned. I love the shade Snowman, even though it's a little bit of a drier formula. Not my favorite. These mattes are really nice. What can I say? This color story isn't my favorite, even though I love my warm tones. I just prefer the color stories of the other ones, but there are shades in here that I would like to just use up. And I do have the companion to that. It's Christmas Eve. I prefer this palette so very much more. I mean, can you tell based on my eye look today? I love this dusty muted purple shade. It's so pretty. Love the blues. The shimmers, again, not my favorite formula, but I do love the shades in here. I love the shade Wonderful, Gorgeous, Blue Ice. I do like Silvery Dream as like a nice everyday taupey shade. Still really pretty. Love this green shade. A sagey green. Gorgeous. And then I have two from Angelica Nyqvist. This is a part of her Halloween collab from a couple years ago now. This one is Trick or Treat. I did use this yesterday for the first time. I haven't really used either of these palettes much since getting them. Yesterday was my first time using this palette, which is so sad considering how long I've had this palette. But this is the warmer tone one. So what I did is I used the shade Howl in my crease. You can't even get these anymore, but I used this one in my crease. I used the shade Vampire Fangs in my outer corner. I used Mummy's Curse in my inner corner. I used Full Moon on most of my lid, and I just blended Trick or Treat into that shimmer and that matte. Yeah, these are really pretty. I will say this is a nice formula palette. I like this formula a lot. And then the other one that came out in that collection is Little Ghost. Absolutely stunning. If you've been following my project pans, you'll know I was trying to hit pan on Cobweb and it took forever, and it's like the tiniest little pan that you can ever get. But I have actually used this one a little bit. I love this color story so much. I love this like denim-y type of blue shade. So pretty. And again, I do really like the formula of these two Angelica Nyqvist palettes. But even nowadays, I feel like there's more and more people coming out and being like, Odensai doesn't have the best formula. So I don't feel like I'm missing out on their new palettes. Next, I'm going to go through all of my potted shadows. I have one loose pigment from Bella Vitae Bar. This is in the shade Ethereal. I think this was also in that Ellie Starr and Brittany Huffman collab. But as you can see, it's just this really pretty blue, green, purple type of shade. I rarely use these. And by rarely, I mean I think I've used this once. But it's so pretty that I just have to keep it. I have one Urban Decay Moondust. And honestly, I did really enjoy this when I first got it. But now, after a while, like using it again, it's not my favorite. It's very hard pressed. You really have to dig in to get a lot of product. It's definitely more of like that subtle PC type of sparkliness, if that's what you prefer. I prefer a little bit more intense, but this is pretty, I guess. So I don't know, maybe one day I'll declutter this, but currently I am gonna keep it. I do have 3 Auric, what are these? The Auric Smoke Reflex. I do need to use these more. So this is in the shade Temper. This is the rose gold one. So here's the cream for that one. And then here's the sparkly topper. Next one is in Entice. This is the deep olivey green one. So there's the cream. Very pretty for like a smoky look. I do really need to start using these more, because they're probably a couple years old at this point as well. And being a cream eyeshadow, they might have to go soon. I can't even open this. And this one comes with like a greeny gold topper. My favorite out of the 3 is Defiance. This is the bronze one. Here's the cream. As you can see, I've actually used this one a little bit. And then here's the sparkly topper, which is just like a champagne-y gold. And then I have 2 MAC potted singles. I have one of their Dazzle shadows in the shade She Sparkles. This is like a silvery purpley type of shade. And then I have one of their Extra Dimension eyeshadows, and I really want more of these. This one's in the shade Sweet Heat, and it's just like this really pretty rose gold shade. This used with MAC Fix Plus, just like sprayed on top, using it as like a liquid eyeshadow almost. So pretty. So pretty. I need to use that more. I should definitely use that like on camera just to show you guys what it's like. Now for like my cream stick liquid eyeshadows. So these two are technically eyeliners, but I'm going to be using them as a shadow stick. And they are these from Eyeshadows. This one is in the shade L05. This is like a green blue shifty shade. I don't know if you'll be able to see the shift in it. And then this one is in the shade L06. It's almost like a grayish blue shade. This one doesn't have a shift to it. It's just super sparkly. I have this eyeshadow stick from Rare Beauty. It's in the shade Contentment. Everything's like rubbed off of here. And this is the shade of it. It's just a nice rose gold, bronzy, taupey type of shade. I do have two matte eyeshadow sticks, and I've learned I don't really use matte eyeshadow sticks, but I have them. And so one of them is from Bobbi Brown. This is in the shade Cinnamon. This is just a nice warm brown shade. These are so creamy and so pigmented. Like, you don't need a lot of this at all. And I have this one from Fenty. This is their shadow sticks in the shade Not All Men. And this is a really nice like yellow toned brown. I love this one. I love the shade of this. Great for every day for my type of warm olive skin tone. And then I do have two from MAC. These are their Dazzle shadows. No. Well, this is their, yeah, the Dazzle Shadow eyeshadow sticks. I do have two sparkly ones. So this one is in the shade Subliminal Spark. It's just a nice rosy taupe. I do have a type, okay? And this is in the shade Gold Stud, which is like this transition base. This translucent base with a gold shimmer running through. You can see an eyeshadow stick that I used underneath this one, but it's actually so pretty. This is one that I wasn't interested in because I'm not the hugest fan of like a yellow gold eyeshadow, but this is so pretty. And then I have all these Danessa Myricks ones. I did take these apart. So, excuse you. These actually come in duos, so that's how I'm gonna try to talk about these. So each duo comes with a metallic and a foil. So I have Duo 3, which is like a bronzy one. You can see the shades on here, so I'm not going to open them because they have a lid and I have a lot of them. And then I have Duo 8, which is Meteorite and Draco. I should say Duo 3 is Lunar Veil and Solar Flare, but this is Duo 8. These are the two shades. This one's like a purpley blue topper shade. As you can tell, that is totally my kind of shade. And this one's like a deep grayish blue. I think that would be really pretty. I really bought that duo because of the purpley shimmer shade. And then I have Duo 5. This was one of the first two that I got. This is in Cassiopeia and Astra, which is like a rose gold type of duo. And then I have Duo 7, which is in Magic Hour and Aurora Radiance. These are a little bit more pink than rose gold, but you can't really tell from Magic Hour. I'm almost done, okay. I don't think I'm gonna do another inventory video. I think this is just gonna be it. So I'm not gonna share like my eyeliners and stuff. I just can't be bothered to do that, I'm sorry. This one is a Giorgio Armani eye tint, and this is in the shade 11S. This one's really pretty. It just has like a tiny bit of a red shimmer to it. It's great for every day though. It also looks like there's a little bit of green in it. And then I have two that are like eyeliners that I use, but they can also be used as bases, whatever. I have two Danessa Myricks Color Fixes. These are both her matte versions. So I have the shade Blackout, which is the black. And then I have the shade Vamp, which is this nice, what is this? It's either maroon or burgundy. I can't remember the difference between them. I know one of them is more purple. Yeah, I love this shade, especially in the fall. Can't wait to bust this out again. So those are all of my eyeshadow products, from eyeshadow palettes, potted eyeshadows, eyeshadow sticks, liquid eyeshadows, all the things. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a great day, a great night, whatever time it is for you. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!